Welcome to the show, people. It is Thursday. Not Wednesday, but Thursday, 9:06 p.m. Central Time here in lovely San Antonio, where it was supposed to rain, but for some reason it didn't. So
It did for me when driving into the shop. It rained.
yeah, earlier, like when I got home from the gym, it was it was like really cloudy and dark, and then it just I don't know, maybe it's because I went to sleep and I missed it, but I don't think know. Anyways, San Antonio weather. What can you do? But
Yeah.
welcome to the show, people. Best special Thursday night edition. I am Drew. If you guys aren't familiar with me, I am Drew Yari. With me, as always, say his name and he'll appear.
Well, I'm not Joe Hendry, but I am Justin from Spinebuster Tees and SpinebusterTees.com.
Yes, Evil Dose. I did go to the gym. I go to the gym. I've been trying to cut weight and stay healthy ish. I emphasize on ish. But yeah, peeps. If anyone's familiar with the show here, to talk wrestling, and we're just going to talk about the week in wrestling with sprinkle with a little bit of news. Like SmackDown that happened on Friday night, Raw, NXT. I did watch the MJF and Ospreay match yesterday. That hour-long Broadway.
Near
And
Broadway. It was almost a Broadway, but
near Broadway, and yeah, and also maybe talk about the rest of Dynamite and anything else that's been happening in the week of wrestling.
dude, there's been a lot of stuff going. There's a lot of wrestling this past week and weekend, and a lot of other shit going on this past weekend too as well. If you've been living on a rock, so. But yeah, I'm ready to talk about it.
All right, let's do it. So last Friday was Friday Night SmackDown, as we all know. Where was SmackDown last Friday? If anyone knows,
I don't know.
Okay. I'm sure
Not
somewhere
important.
else
Not
in the
important.
Yeah. The show opens with the new Money in the Bank. Women's Money in the Bank winner Tiffany Stratton, who just basically comes out to brag about winning Money in the Bank. Which corresponds to a match with Michin and Nia Jax, which was a match. Like Justin, you just say it was a match. It was okay. It wasn't terrible or great. It was just a match. While that's happening, Bayley got involved and Nia took her out. Tiffany, as she's walking away with Nia, she looks over at Bayley almost as if to think, maybe I should I or shouldn't I? Essentially. As she's about to cash in her Money in the Bank, Nia stops her and goes, "What the fuck?" Pretty much like, "What are you doing?" And Tiffany's like, I was just fucking around." So they're walking to the back. I know earlier there was a promo where Nia referred to Tiffany as her own personal Barbie doll, basically, which I guess makes sense for Nia. I know it's SummerSlam. It's gonna be Nia and Bayley. Yeah, it's like what 2 weeks away. And SummerSlam,
Yeah,
August 4th.
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Oh, it's really rushing these. I mean, they're not really rushing these matches. Some of these matches are already like concrete. But do you see Tiffany cashing in at Money in the Bank, or do you think that's too obvious?
I think it's too obvious, but I think that's possibly the route that they're gonna end up going, which I'm fine with, totally cool with.
Yeah, it is what it is.
What do you think?
I mean, it wouldn't shock me if it happened. Like, that almost seems like kind of the way to go. I would have preferred it if Chelsea won Money in the Bank because it seems like it makes more sense for her to be the Money in the Bank winner. Tiffany, I think she can win it on her own. But I guess it makes sense for the story, going with Nia and Bayley and Tiffany being attached to Nia somehow.
Yeah.
So
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued what they're doing. At least.
So I mean, my whole thing is if she cashes in, obviously it's going to cause problems with Nia. Like, do you? Well, yeah, but do you? But like, my question is like, what does that do with Nia and Tiffany? Does that make Nia a face or Tiffany a face, or just keep them both heels? Like, what do you do?
Makes them neither a face or a heel. I think Tiffany would be the face in the program, but she'll still be heel afterwards. No one needs to turn officially.
Okay, makes sense. I mean, it could be a thing of just like, I don't care if you're a heel or a face, I still hate you.
Because I've said this many times, baby faces, team with baby faces, right? They all get along with each other. But in theory, a heel should still hate a heel no matter what.
Definitely,
kind
definitely,
of like
because like
kind of like Bad News Brown. Like Bad News Brown, he got along with nobody. He hated everyone, and heels included. So I just don't know, where that logic has gone in pro wrestling nowadays. But times changed, obviously. But yeah,
right, and it's just like Tiffany is kind of the mean girl. She's the rich girl. She has all the money, quote unquote. And Naya is the opposite of that. And they could still be heels, like you just said. They can just still hate on each other.
yeah.
Um, a big chunk of the night went towards the bloodline as it should. I know towards the end of the night, Cody pretty much put the challenge out to Solo that you want your title match at SummerSlam, you got it, and he stood up to the rest, to all, pretty much the whole group of the bloodline. Got beat down, of course, as we expected. Randy Orton came out to make the save, but to no avail. They took out Randy too and made Cody watch. So
Yep.
planting the seeds for a future feud with Randy and Cody, as they've been planting nice little Easter eggs with Randy doing segments with Cody where he's staring at his belt, almost as if to say, "Huh, should I or shouldn't I?"
Right.
Um, I don't know how I feel about Randy being a heel again, because at this point I don't think Randy needs to be a heel to make this work. I've said before, I don't know if I told you, but like I've kind of thought that for Randy and Cody to work, especially like today, it can just be a thing of like the student wrestles the master, and then eventually the student surpasses the master. So I
Do,
I, I don't
do
think.
you think that? Do you think that would like actually like that's boring? Like,
Yeah, but the thing is,
to me, that's
nobody's
boring.
gonna boo Randy though. Nobody's gonna boo Randy. That's kind of
If
my
it's
point.
done the right way,
Okay,
if
okay,
it's done the
maybe
right
I'm
way.
okay. Well, I like to be wrong. If it works, then I'll be happy. I
I
mean,
mean,
lately the
me and
booking's been good.
you may not boo Randy, but the little kid in the front row and the casuals, that's what they're doing it for. Like, it's
Right.
not really for us at the end of the day. It's for the people who come to the shows. Most people that go to the shows are the casual fans. And a kid that's younger than what, 11, 12 years old is gonna boo the heel. So I
Right.
think it can work out. I think it can work out if done properly. Otherwise, babyface Randy versus babyface Cody is just not gonna work. And I think you may alienate some of the fan base to cheering one versus the other. You need to have Randy as a definitive heel, and for it to have legs too as well, because it's not a one match. It's not going to be a one match feud when they do Randy and Cody. So if they just do babyface versus babyface and they try to do 2 or 3 matches, it's going to get stale by match 2. At least with a heel Randy Orton, it can have some legs and go into a second and third match.
And also, especially, yeah, Bad Blood coming up. So
Um, yeah, I think that could be where they could be going. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. Yeah.
yeah, again, I like to be wrong, so we'll see how this works out. And lately, the booking's been pretty good with storylines. As for the rest of SmackDown, you had Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews versus Angel and Berto. Legado del Fantasma won. Good thing Apollo Crews getting TV time. I mean, it's
Yeah.
guys been
I
with the
like
company
I
for
like
9
the tag
years.
team of Apollo and Corbin. I think I mean, even though they're a makeshift tag team, if they want to run as a team, because you're not gonna be doing anything with them as a singles. So if you want to put them as a tag team and have like another tag team within the division, I'm cool with that.
Right. And also, I like seeing Apollo get TV time. I mean, the guy's been here for 9 years, and the guy's talented. He obviously has something to him, and the people seem to like the moves he does. So yeah, it's if you can make something out of this tag team, cool. And also Baron Corbin, he's been back and forth with different gimmicks. The bum Corbin, is the one that actually kind of worked the best. But I mean, if you can get a babyface Corbin and make it work, cool. Um, let's see what else happened. Yeah, Blair Davenport versus Naomi. Um, a decent match. I don't know, something about Blair Davenport I just can't connect with. I don't know. I don't know how you feel, but just I thought the match was okay. I was actually kind of surprised that Naomi won because Naomi lately has been kind of like not pin me, pay me, but more like, hey, we're going to use you to get other people over. But she won, so good. But what do you do with Blair Davenport? Like, how do you use her to make her interesting?
They're doing a good job with her so far. You have her attack Naomi after the match backstage, and is going to start establishing her as a heel to watch out for. She's not going to beat Naomi in her very first big match
Right.
against her. Give it time, let it marinate, and she's going to be someone on this show that that's going to be reckoned with, for the next few years because she's way too talented not to be utilized as that. So, and Triple H loves his in-ring women's, and she's one of them. So, um, I definitely think she has a future. Now, am I thinking world champion? Maybe not, right? At least not right now. At least not, but not this year or maybe next year. But can I see her sometime down the line flesh her character out, maybe in a faction or wherever they do with her? Do I can see her be a champion from that standpoint in a couple of years? If done the right way, absolutely. She's way too talented not to.
Right. And there's a lot of women on this roster. Like,
Well, I
there's a
mean,
lot.
we're gonna get mid card belts too as well.
Oh no!
We're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
have
I know that. Which I'm fine with that. I know
Yeah.
people are complaining like, "Oh, there's too many belts." I'm like, well, you have a lot of no, not stars, but you have a lot of wrestlers on this roster, especially a
Well,
lot of
I
women.
will say that. I will say this: there will be too many belts.
Right.
There will be too many belts. But here's the thing, though: it's gonna be too many belts. But how is it gonna be used the right way? I trust Triple H more than I trust Tony Khan with all these belts. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it is too many belts, and it could be potentially to get flubbed up, but we haven't seen it yet either. So, we haven't seen it yet. So, right now NXT is working pretty fine because you got like 5 championships down there: tag team, NXT, women's, and men's. Then you got North American title, women's and men's. Then Heritage Cup. So that's like 6. So, and it seems like it's doing okay in NXT.
Right. Yeah, NXT, I think developmental needs it more because you have so many people on the roster, and you can't. And it's developmental. You need to get what you can out of those people. On
Yeah.
the main roster, same thing. You have a lot of people, especially
Right.
a lot of women,
Right.
and a lot of them are talented. You have a lot of talented women. This is probably the most women we've had on the WWE roster in
It's the
like
deepest
probably ever.
women roster in WWE of all time.
Right, and
Period.
like they try to do something with the tag belts, and just those just aren't working, in my opinion.
And you need to split the tag belts and see that's how you do it. You split the tag belts, get rid of the tag belts, and just do 2 women's singles titles. That's how you fix it.
Fine with that. Yeah, just Intercontinental title, U.S. title, just simple fix. Let's see. After which you had a rematch for the WWE Tag Team titles. You had DIY versus A-Town Down Under, which went to a. Actually, no. Okay, so yeah, DIY beat A-Town Down Under. It was a decent match. It was weird. Champa came to the arena wearing a Dunkin' Donuts jumpsuit, which I thought was kind of funny.
I didn't even notice.
I mean, I think you can buy. I think you can actually legit buy those because I know Ben Affleck was wearing it in the Dunkin' Donuts commercial. But good back and forth action. DIY, people kind of wrote them off, saying that they're boring and they're in hell or whatever. Won the tag team titles, so they seem to be doing fine. It's always that case of I've noticed lately with like people are like, oh, they're not going anywhere, and then they start winning matches. And it's like, okay, well, you needed something. You just need like a shot in the arm, something.
Well, I will say this. You said that for about Giant Gargano. Not necessarily Champa, but you did mention that he wasn't really doing much of anything.
I did. I'll admit it. I did. But yeah, good. I was kind of thinking that this is where you're gonna see the I was gonna say Austin Aries, Austin Theory turn
Right.
on Waller, but I'm assuming that they're gonna wait till maybe like after SummerSlam, so that can really have more legs on it. In theory, can get more of a babyface pop, which I get.
Right.
After which you had Jacob Fatu come out and just lay out everybody in the match, just lay everybody the fuck out, which was beautiful. And I like most of the guys in the ring, but yeah, Jacob Fatu just laid everybody out. Which, what do you think that means? Like, do you think that means the Bloodline's coming after the tag titles, or Jacob Fatu is just like, this is our show?
I can see that. Yeah, I could definitely. Now I don't know if that's gonna happen at SummerSlam. I think DIY deserves a title reign for a little bit at least, right? Because I'm thinking that Triple H is trying to redo, Tommaso Ciampa and Gargano NXT feud again. He's trying to relive that. So I don't think taking the titles off of them this soon would be necessary. I think we're gonna be possibly get Randy Orton versus Jacob Fatu in a one-on-one match. I think that's a possibility. And obviously got Cody versus Solo. And maybe they'll probably do Gorillas of Destiny versus Gargano and Ciampa. I just don't. It's not time to even think about. You just put the titles on DIY. Like, this is their first titles on the main roster. Like, let's give them a couple months, maybe a month or two. Then let's take the titles off them. We don't need to rush that. I don't think it's necessary to rush that, unless if the only way I think it's acceptable is if you're taking the title off of Cody, which I don't believe that's gonna happen.
No.
If you're taking the title off Cody, okay, let's give Gorillas of Destiny the tag titles, and eventually you'll get Jacob Fatu to get the U.S. title, so everyone has a title in the Bloodline. I think that'll be the only appropriate way to do that, but I don't think that's going to happen. So in results, I don't want to see DIY lose.
No, me either. Like, I'm not a fan of long title reigns, but I think with these guys, I just want it, give them some momentum, and then eventually, if you do want Gorillas of Destiny to take the titles off of them, do it like do it like before Survivor Series, like, I don't know, before the end of the year, but don't do it like right now.
No,
Like,
no,
give them
no,
some
no.
time. Give them some time to breathe first,
Well, at
like
least give
before
it
you
to
decide to.
September. At least September.
Yeah, exactly. Like, give them like a month and a half, 2 months. Whatever. All right, so that was SmackDown. We already talked about the ending, so let's go to Monday Night Raw. Let's see. Uh, I missed the first 20 something minutes of Raw, so I missed Rhea Ripley coming out. I was a little incapacitated, not in a bad way. I was asleep. I was asleep, so I missed like the first 20 something minutes of Raw, so I missed that promo. What do what'd you think about the promo?
Standard promo wasn't anything special. I mean, she got her point across. She wants to get Rhea Ripley. She wants to get Liv Morgan. She wants to get her title back. I thought it came across very well. This is the most interesting. Believe it or not, I think it's the most interesting story. Not necessarily best story, but interesting story
Yeah.
that WWE is doing right now. So, yeah,
It's relatable because like people want to shit on Liv, and I get why. Maybe you don't like her wrestling. That's fine. But like,
why
I
why
think
does anyone want to try and Liv? She's just the best. This is the best that she's ever looked in her career.
that's what I was about to say. Like, I
Yeah,
think as far as the storyline goes, this is probably the best she's ever like done, because like it's such a relatable storyline. It's making Dom look like a babyface because like I'm not saying like you personally or me personally, but like how many people have we known have been in this situation where it's just like, that one guy Jim that never had a girlfriend, all of a sudden he has a girlfriend, and other women that he tried to ask out that said no, all of a sudden see him and go, I'm interested.
right.
Like, it's just so relatable, and that's wrestling at its best. It's when it's relatable.
Yeah,
And it's like that conversation, kind of vaguely we were having a few weeks ago about Javon Evans, where when he talks, he just sounds like he's having a conversation. That's what, people like RVD, Steve Austin, they were so good at what they did because when you heard them, or CM Punk, when you heard
right,
them talk, that you believe what they were saying, as
right.
opposed to, let me tell you something, brother, like, doing all that shit. Whereas same thing with storylines, like the Austin McMahon thing, that was relatable because how many of us, did or still want to, just kick our boss's ass? Like
Right.
that's so relatable to us. So for this is so relatable, and everybody, with the exception of JD, who just I don't know what his role is in this thing is, but Carlito, who is just can't really wrestle that much anymore. Not as much as he, was like 20 years ago, but he's just like there to just give those one-liners. Like he's the friend that gives like really bad, unopportune advice. Like when Dom is trying to like, sweet talk Rhea and say you belong to me, and she's like, I don't belong to anybody, and she walks away, and Carlito just comes in. Yeah, that sucks, huh?
Right.
So I don't know. The Carlito's great. Like he's just funny. And then Finn just kind of being the evil best friend of you're not sure whose side he's on. Like, is he actually there to help, or is he secretly banging Liv on the side? Like, what is he doing? And then Damien just being kind of like the dad of the group. So this storyline's working, and then Liv is doing great. And then Rhea, she's back in the fold, so she's obviously going to do great. Throughout the whole night, that was pretty much the whole story of Raw, was just Judgment Day of Damien and Dom and Rhea trying to like work everything out. Damien kind of being the not shit stirrer, but just kind of being the, hey, I told you so.
Yeah.
I told you to break it off with this girl, but you didn't listen to me. Like earlier in the night when Jey Uso comes up to Damien, he's like, "Is it true? Is it true? Is mommy single? Because I want to ask her out." And then Damien's like, "You know what? She might be." And Dom getting mad, and Jay saying, "Tell mommy I said was ah." I think he just walks off screen. I thought that was too funny. And then they went on to have a match, and it was a typical run-of-the-mill match between Dom and Jay. Jay got the win, of course, as we all expected. And then Jay's trying to shoot a shot with Rhea, and then Rhea kind of smirks at him, which I don't know. I kind of want that to be a thing. I know it's never going to happen. Just make them an on-screen couple. That'd be funny as shit. I think there was like a bit on like the website or Twitter, I think, where Jay was like saying like, I can treat mommy right. I take it to Waffle House. And then later,
apparently he got her phone number.
hey, so we'll see how this romance works out. But
Yeah.
we get to the back, Rhea's telling Dom, I don't belong to anybody. Like you're mine. And then she gives him the rose back. So Dom with hope that he can get mommy back. So we'll see how that works out. As for the rest of the show,
Before we move on,
go ahead.
We know where this is leading to, right?
All right.
Which is I'm asking you.
Well, I mean, we got SummerSlam coming up, of course.
Right. I'm talking about the result of this all.
It's more than likely leading to Finn overtaking the Judgment Day.
I'm not even thinking about that. I'm thinking about Dom turning on Rhea, and he's going to be with Liv. Think about it. I
wasn't even thinking about that, but I think that works better because I don't want Dom to be a face. At least
there you go. Why would Dominic Mysterio be a baby face? He's so great as a heel. There's no the gimmick of just him getting boos along from when he's talking on the microphone, getting heat like that. That's all you need right there. Dom needs to stay a heel. Since Rhea is a de facto babyface now, it does not make sense for Dominic to end up with Rhea. And some point and sometime, Dominic is going to end up with Liv, and that's it. And that's major heat because you turned on mommy so you can be a daddy, right? So I think that's where it's going to go. Not saying it's going to happen at SummerSlam. It could. It's a possibility. I think Liv is probably going to retain. If you were to ask me right now, I think Liv is probably going to retain due to Dom interference and turn on. That's a SummerSlam moment right there that you can see. I think that's a possibility, but that's the right decision to do. I don't think you want to see. I don't think the fans want to see a babyface dominate Mysterio at this point in time, at least.
Right, because Damien's already pretty much a babyface, and we'll talk about that promo.
Right.
And Rhea's over like Rover. So I mean, it kind of writes itself. Dom can be like, Liv did more for me than you ever did. Liv actually lets me, or without getting too descriptive, but like, Liv bought me things. She takes care of me. She loves me. I love her. She actually lets me go all the way, or I don't fucking know. But like, they'll be on Netflix, so who knows how far they'll go. But yeah,
She lets me fuck. Like, oh no. It is a new era in WWE.
Liv lets me fuck her right in the pussy.
Oh man.
But yeah, I mean, it writes itself. So I think with Liv and Rhea, that's a chase. Like the chase can be all the way to Mania. Like if you really take your time.
Oh, I ain't going that far. I think what's gonna happen is Dom turns on Rhea. Liv has the title, then perhaps we're looking at Hell in a Cell, maybe. That could probably be a Hell in a Cell match. I think that will garner enough heat for a Hell in a Cell match. So yeah, because if SmackDown gets one with like the Bloodline, or not even with the Bloodline, but with Cody and Randy, Raw needs to get one for the women. And I think that'll be the one for the women, which will be Rhea and Liv. That garners a Hell in a Cell match.
I like the way you think. And yeah, with the Triple H era booking, we're actually gonna get a Hell in a Cell match, like an actual Hell in a Cell match with consequences. For the rest of the Raw, you had Sheamus versus Bronson Reed, which had been stemming from the week prior. Fantastic match. Two big, sweaty, meaty men bumping meat, as Big E so eloquently puts it. I like these two. I like Bronson. I like seeing him used more. I think there's just something missing about him. I don't know why. But Sheamus, good to see him back in form. Laying off the burger after burger after burger. I'm just fucking around. But I like burgers too. Yeah, good back and forth action. Sheamus got the win, of course, after which he had Pete Dunne come out. Kind of stemming from last week where Pete Dunne was avoiding Sheamus, and then he does it again, and when Sheamus turns his back, Pete Dunne attacks Sheamus, which I thought was kind of weird. I mean, no, it makes sense as to why, because he's mad at Sheamus because he thinks Sheamus abandoned him whenever he went away on injury. But I don't know. But what'd you think about the match and the aftermath?
Match was fine. Bronson Reed is great. I don't think he gets enough credit for what he is. So is Sheamus. The turn is needed, right? Because kind of going to news, but this kind of ties in. The decision to have Pete Dunne feud with Sheamus was made shortly after Tyler Bates' injury. So they turned him heel after Tyler Bates gets injured because Tyler Bates not expected back to return this year. So bring back the bruiserweight. And I think that's what we're gonna do. And this feud is going to help get Pete Dunne over as a legitimate singles threat. What was the major concern with Pete Dunne from before? Oh, he's too small. How is he believable to beat to beat up anyone, right? At least from the general public online. Not saying everybody says that, but how can you get Pete Dunne to be a menacing threat? Have him feud against Sheamus and beat Sheamus. Does he have to win the feud? I think so, possibly. But if that doesn't happen, if he looks credible in his matches, it is going to make him a more credible threat against anybody on the main roster. So I really like this decision, and hopefully this benefits him in the long run.
I agree. This Triple H era booking is like, okay, let's see what we can get on most of these guys on the roster. I mean, we just talked about Apollo Crews, being used on SmackDown, for the past few weeks, and Pete Dunne, with the I don't want to say loss of his partner, but losing his partner to injury, they still want to get use out of him, because Triple H, God bless him, he loves his NXT Black and Gold guys. He loves Johnny Gargano. loves Ciampa, loves Pete Dunne, so he wants to get some use out of him. So a Sheamus and Pete Dunne feud would be interesting, to see how that turns out. But
It's a good TV feud. It doesn't need to be on pay-per-view or anything like that, but it'd be a good
no.
TV feud.
They took away Sheamus's theme. They just gave him a new theme. I have no idea why.
I have no comment. We don't even need to talk about that.
Yeah, it's stupid as hell. But all right. Next is you got Zelina Vega and Sonya Deville. Not a bad match. Pretty good TV match. Zelina. I remember we talked about this in the shop just randomly, where Zelina is capable of having a match, whether it's a good match or a decent match. She's capable of going out there and having a wrestling match, like a well constructed wrestling match. I'll just put it that way. They're using her a lot lately, which is good because I mean, I'm not the biggest Zelina fan, but people seem to love Zelina. She connects well with the crowd. They like her, whatever that reason is. Think about it. But like, she has talent to her. She has charisma. She's not bad on the mic. She's actually kind of funny. Like, she has her little one-liners about people. But Sonya Deville, it's good to see her back. I like Sonya Deville. I think she's someone that kind of goes under the radar, in my opinion. And it's good to see her back. But yeah, her and Zelina had a decent match. Which Deville actually won, which makes sense because Deville is starting this new faction with Zoe and Shayna.
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you think about the match?
Thought it was fine for what it was. I mean, it wasn't like great or groundbreaking or anything like that, but I thought both women did well for what the match was. It wasn't like a ton of time, but it was a fairly decent TV match. So yeah. Quick question. How tall is Zelina Vega? You think?
She's got to be like 4'10", 4'11".
Okay. How tall is Io Shirai or Io Sky?
5'1", if I had to guess, 5'2".
Okay. So the point I'm trying to get to, because there's other small wrestlers too as well. The point I'm trying to get to is that Zelina Vega, she went on Twitter, X, whatever, right? And she says, all my life, I've heard that my height holds me back. Today is no different. But there's just so much you can prove here and there. I got to touch the ball but never actually hold it. Give me the ball. And if sorry. She says, give me the ball. And if I drop it, fuck me. I'll fall back, but I'm ready to settle this. So she sounds like she wants more of an opportunity. Would that be something that you'll be willing to see play out?
I'll put it this way. We were just talking about Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
Liv Morgan's been doing a great job with this storyline with Judgment Day. So I'll just put it this way. If they can find something interesting for her that works, I'm here for it. I'll just leave it at that. So at the end of the day, even if I'm not the biggest fan of somebody, if they're doing something that I think is good, I'm going to say it's good. It's plain and simple. I try to be as fair as possible. Speaking of good, next is we had Damian Priest and Gunther go face to face to hype up their match at SummerSlam in 2 weeks. This is a good promo between both men. This is probably the best promo I've heard out of Damian. With Damian, I'm not sure how you feel about him in this promo. I think he works so much better when he's just being himself. When he's not trying to be, I'm scary, angry Damian Priest, that doesn't come off well because I don't believe him when he says that. When he's just himself, when he's just joking around, wisecracking, and just being himself with the Judgment Day, I think that works so much better. In this promo, he was kind of being himself because he was talking about, I had to live in my car. I was poor. I had to grow up and fight for what I wanted. And I believed him when he said it because, it's true. With Gunther was just being the kind of snobby, first class dick of like, I'm so, my parents loved me. My parents, raised me to be the man I am today. and you're just street trash. Ooh, which that got a big reaction. Or I guess before that, let me kind of reel it back. He referred to Damien as people like you, which a lot again, I don't want to say a lot of people, but people tried to correspond that with Triple H and Booker T from 2003, where Triple H told Booker T, people like you.
I did not see that reaction online. I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I did not see it at all.
Like a few people, not many people, because when I heard that, I kind of went, I don't see it, but I can see how somebody might try to take it as, you know, racism. But for the most part, this is a really good promo because if Damien wasn't already a babyface, he's a babyface now. And Gunther is a fucking dick, snobby. I'm perfect in every way heel. And it made their match at SummerSlam mean something. Because before it just seemed like a put together match. Now I'm interested in seeing the match. Like I'm not even 100% sold that Gunther is gonna win. I'm not. I mean, I want Gunther to win, but I'm not even 100% sold he
He's
might.
winning. He's winning. That's here and there.
Okay.
There, he's winning. Like that's not even. He's winning. Like if there's a guarantee, unless injury happens or something last second happens in booking, Gunther's winning.
Should be a good match. They gotta let these two just go out there and work.
Yeah.
Like, because I think these two are capable of putting on a good match. I mean, they could possibly have the show stealer.
Of course.
Yeah, Gunther and Damian Priest.
He's Damian Priest has never really had any bad matches. I mean, his promos and his title reign has been very subpar so far. But like when it comes to when the bell rings, like he's fantastic.
Do you think with some of these promos that they do with guys like Damian Priest, where they just say, "Hey, go out there and be yourself," do you think that's almost like a test of like we need to find that personality in you?
Yeah, that's what they should be doing with everybody. Just go out there and be yourself.
Right? Because you got Drew, like Drew McIntyre. I defended Drew during the COVID years because I thought he really worked his ass off and in some ways kind of carried the company on his back until Roman came back. But I thought a lot of his promos seemed very generic because he was just going out there and just being the happy-go-lucky babyface and doing Cena shtick. Now Drew is this kind of scumbag, smarmy heel where he tries to pretend to be the nice guy, but when he doesn't get his way, that's when he becomes who he actually is on the inside.
Yeah.
And a lot of this, because I've seen clips of him from like ICW, and the guy has a personality. Like the guy's always had a personality. It's just the old regime is always about, say this and say this, read this script, blah blah blah. But he's really showing like this is the best Drew has ever been. This is the most entertaining that he's ever been. I mean, he's always been a good wrestler. He's always been capable of having good matches. It's just the personality was always kind of rough because it didn't seem. I didn't believe what he was saying. Now I believe what he's saying because it just seems like he's being him and just also having fun.
Right.
So I think for someone like Damien, and I like Damien, um, I need to believe what he's saying. And after Monday, I believed what he was saying because it sounded like it was coming from the heart. But what'd you think about the promo?
Good. That was a good promo. It got its point across. Both sides look very strong here. Gunther is getting better on the mic. He hasn't been bad or anything, but he's getting better on the mic in his position. So I think it was very, very well executed.
Right. Next is Braun Strowman versus Damian Priest. This match was not as good as it could have been. Braun clearly got hurt during the match, so he was working hurt pretty much during the match. I think he was already hurt before that because Braun's not as fast as he used to be, especially when he does the choo choo train stuff. But this was a okay match for what it was and for what Damien had to work with. Damien got the win doing South of Heaven, which was pretty impressive. Let's see what we got after this. So Yeah, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter versus Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. Stark and Baszler won, as they should. Chad Gable teasing, that he wants to call out Bo Dallas to the ring for everything that's been going on the past month. Trying to get his old Alpha Academy on their side. Alpha Academy ends up choosing Xavier Woods over him. So that was cool. That was funny. Let's see what we got. Adam Pearce invites Drew McIntyre to have a heart-to-heart to pretty much talk about what's been going on the past few weeks. Drew McIntyre looks happy. He looks gung-ho. He looks like he's ready to go and come back to work. And Adam Pearce is saying, listen, the fans want you and CM Punk. CM Punk wants you. I know you want CM Punk. So let's make this happen. All you got to do is one thing. You have to apologize to these two referees. And Drew just has this look on his face like, huh? Like, you didn't tell me that was going to happen. And it looks like Drew's about to apologize, but he says no. And then he gets in Adam Pearce's face, and Adam Pearce says, oh, that's how you want to play it? Well, you're still suspended. And then Drew knocks out the referees again and gets in Adam Pearce's face. And then Seth Rollins comes out and makes a save, and that was the end of the segment. This is an interesting feud. It's interesting, kind of confusing, because you're not even sure what's really happening. Because on paper, it sounds like we're getting Punk and Drew, but they're trying to kind of maybe swerve us as just thinking maybe Drew, maybe not Drew, but maybe Punk isn't 100% cleared. Even Punk in storyline, I'm saying in storyline is saying I'm just waiting to be cleared, which I think Punk has been cleared for maybe at least a month. And now you got Seth Rollins back in the mix, who kind of came back a little earlier than we thought he would. So we're not even sure what Rollins' involvement in this match is going to be. We know he's going after Punk, even though I don't know why he still should be mad at Punk, because Damien told him, the gentleman's agreement is off. You can get a title match anywhere, any place. So I don't know why he should still be mad at Punk, but whatever.
I mean, it's stemming from before that.
Well, okay, yeah, but yeah, Seth did say I was willing to let a lot of that slide, but you cost me my world title. It's like, okay, Seth, but so where do you see Seth's involvement? Like, do you think it's almost gonna be like a WrestleMania thing where he's the special guest announcer, or what do you think he does at SummerSlam?
He comes out and screws Punk.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. It just goes on with their storyline, which I'm assuming is Mania. Because I know it was supposed to be Mania this year, but circumstances, Punk got hurt, so that's the way it looks. All right, so another White 6 VHS, which Pat McAfee got a VHS during the taping of his show, and they played it, and it was Eric Rowan, who was very emotional promo. This is the kind of stuff I like, when you kind of humanize these characters, and at the same time kind of keep it in kayfabe, where Eric Rowan talked about the last 4 years of his life, losing his brother, talking about Luke Harper, Brody, getting fired from WWE, and then losing, Bray, which he said, I thought everything was getting back on the right track, but then I lost my other brother. And, showing real human emotion, which that was obviously the best promo that Eric Rowan's ever cut. Because again, it just, like we talked about, it seemed real. You believed what he was saying. But then he kept it in kayfabe, saying that, somebody stuck their hand out at me and I accepted. And now we're about to pretty much share some beautiful music together with the world. Another thing he said that was really, heartbreaking was he said, who's going to miss me? I'm Rowan. So, going to the next White 6 thing, I'll get your thoughts on it, was Chad Gable calling out Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas coming out with no music, gets jumped by the Creeds. So the Creeds have now joined up with Chad Gable. Fucking Bo Dallas sound like 1996 Shawn Michaels with those like kicks and hits and being thrown to the rail. The whole time, Bo laughing. He's just laughing, ha 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 ha, like doing that typical, Bray Wyatt laugh. And Chad getting in his face saying, "What are you laughing about?" And then Bo saying, "There you are." And lights go out. Where the rest of the White Six comes out and scares away the Chad Gable and the Creeds. Bo celebrates, or not celebrates, but he joins the rest of the White Six. From the way it looks, I'm assuming SummerSlam. We're getting Chad and the Creeds versus the White Six, which is Rowan. Who's the other fucking guy? Joe Gacy and
Loomis.
Loomis. There you go. What'd you think about the whole White Six bit? With the Rowan stuff and the Bo stuff.
I think the Rowan promo, like, fan fucking tastic, man. Like it's like it wasn't even a promo, really. It was just literally just fucking pouring his heart out. Like, you know what I mean? It's an interview. It wasn't a promo. It was like a legit interview. But yeah, fantastic stuff. The with Bo Dallas coming out there, then you got the Creeds finally joined up with Chad Gable, so that's great. Them being up on Bo, then you have the Whites come out, White Six, in the ring. I think what they're doing with the White Six right now is very, 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 very good. Not perfect whatsoever, but it's very good, and I'm enjoying it very much.
I'm liking it, and I also was intrigued about the Rowan stuff because I wasn't expecting it. Because for the past few weeks we got Bo, telling his story, and I like the fact that they brought in Rowan to kind of tell his story about why he got here, why he's here. So do you think like the next 2 weeks we're going to get more interviews with like Loomis, maybe Nikki, maybe Joe as to why they joined?
No.
What?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. Of course, like they're not just gonna do two and not do the others. Like it wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, of course.
I'm interested to hear Loomis's reason because Loomis hasn't talked. It's weird because Loomis, when he was in TNA, I forgot what his character was in TNA, but Sam Shaw, like he can actually talk.
Yeah,
like he's actually capable of cutting a good promo.
absolutely.
And the guy has a really good build. Like he has a good look, and he can have a good match. And it's just like WWE's like, no, we don't want you to talk. So I don't know, but we'll see what he does in that promo. All right, so the main event, you had Intercontinental title match between Sami Zayn and Ilya Dragunov, which I think Stevie Wonder could have predicted how this match was going to end. Earlier in the night, Braun Breaker came out, talked with Adam Pearce, and Pearce said, pretty much, I need you to get out of here. You're not getting involved in this match. And you kind of figured how this match was going to go. It's still a fantastic match, from what we saw so far. Sammy, if we're talking about underrated people, I think Sammy really goes under the radar of how really goddamn good he is, as far as like being this generation's wrestler, as the guy that really can make people look like $1 million. It's just he has this kind of weird physique where he looks like he has a six pack, and then the next minute he has a belly. Like I don't know, like that's just so weird. But not even body shaming him. I'm actually impressed, like how well he looks. But Sammy, again, another guy, when he talks, I believe him. Like he is. If Cody is the ultimate babyface, Sammy is. He's at least second. He's at least a conversation for second. Never going to be world champion, but he's that guy that goes out there and gets the crowd riled up. They're behind him.
There's a chance of being world champion, but I don't think it's gonna be anytime soon, though. But I think he's one of those guys that I think with this bio work, I think they'll at least get one ring, at least one.
Right, like he's that baby face that and Justin, you're a fan of like the old stuff. Like he's that baby face that when he's getting his ass beat in the ring, he's out there, reaching his hand out, asking the crowd, "Please, I need you," and the crowd's getting ready to tag in and help him out. So
he's like I mentioned, it was either last week or the week before. Like he is fantastic at garnering sympathy from the fans, and he's very great at playing the underdog character.
Exactly. Ilya's great too. Needs some work on his promos, but I think he can get there. But yeah, Ilya's Ilya. He's always gonna have a great match with everybody. But yeah, so far this match was good, but you can kind of tell where it was going. During the match, Ilya and Sammy get outside the ring, and then Braun walks out to the ring, already getting like the crowd, doing dog noises. I'm sorry. As soon as he hits the ring, he's already running. He goes from 0 to 100 and just spears the both out of both men. And the show ends with Braun standing over Sammy. So, more than likely, we're getting a triple threat at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental title, which seems like the way to go. Braun's not buried the way everyone assumes he is. I don't know where people get that analogy.
Who was saying that? I
Because
want to see what your Twitter feed looks like because I am not seeing that as him being buried.
Dude, okay, so I know I picked Braun. I know both you and me picked Braun, but I know you said, I don't know if you said or I said it, where it's like, don't be surprised if Sammy wins. And Sammy won.
I believe I said that, but it doesn't matter. Yeah.
And I know I kind of threw out the idea of like if Braun loses, it's going to be by his arrogance because he got too cocky and blah blah,
Right.
which is what happened. You don't want to get Braun too much too soon. Like you want the bigger win is going to come from one of the biggest shows of the year, which is SummerSlam.
Exactly.
And I legit saw people on Twitter, oh, they had Braun lose clean to Sammy. And it's like, did you guys actually watch the match? Like, come on.
He did lose clean.
Yeah, yes and no.
He lost clean, but he wasn't buried though.
Like, it wasn't like a thing of like Sammy hit his finisher, like Braun went for a spear and I think he missed it. And anywho, that's not here nor there. But yeah, people were saying that Braun was buried or using some type of analogy like that. But which is just like, I'd like to know what you guys mean by buried. When I think of buried, I think of like Piggy James. Like that was just
People think they know wrestling terms. They don't know like what bury really means. Like if someone loses a match on Raw, like Ilya, who did he lose to in the King of the Ring?
Jay.
Yeah, when he lost to Jay. Oh, Ilya's buried already. I'm like guys.
You mean the guy? You mean the guy from NXT losing to the guy that's over and they want to push? That
guys,
guy?
if God, man, like if you don't really know what the terms mean, just shut the fuck up, like, because you make yourself sound stupid.
Right, it's like over and buried are really overused terms, especially buried.
Oh, buried is way more used than over, improperly, I should say.
It's like this young upstart from NXT just lost to this over wrestler on the main roster that they want to push. He's buried. It's like, okay, or maybe that's just how wrestling works.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know. Just we could spend all night with this, but I don't want.
I'll put it to you this way. I'll put it to you this way. And there's gonna be a lot of people, if they were to hear this, not going to agree with me. There's not a lot of people that's buried on WWE TV right now. Not a lot of people who's buried. Vince McMahon era? Oh yeah, there was people that was fucking buried. But everyone on TV is in their natural world where they're supposed to be. Just because you're not on top doesn't mean you're buried. Just because you go on TV and you lose doesn't mean you're buried. Being buried is, not getting any offense in and you're made to look like a fucking joke. And you're made to look like a less than. That's being fucking buried. Like with Ricochet. With Ricochet, when he got fucked up by Braun Breaker, he wasn't buried there. He was written off. There's a complete difference.
Yeah, like he got written off. So again, the Triple H era of things, nobody's buried, like you said. Just people need to get their shit together. But that was the end of Raw. Decent Raw. Not a bad Raw. Raw and SmackDown have been pretty good lately. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I'm just saying it was good. It was good. Good show.
All right, so now we're gonna move ahead to NXT, which was past Tuesday. It was the aftermath. I believe no, last week was the aftermath. There we go. But NXT opens with the RASCALZ, the reunion of the RASCALZ. Wesley, Trey, is it Trey Miguel? That's his name.
Trey Miguel, yeah.
And Zach Wentz, or Nash Carter, whatever you choose to call him, against Gallus. This is a good match. This is a really good match to open the show. I was happy to see all three men together. I was happy to see Nash Carter back in NXT. I mean, you already know how I feel about Nash Carter, and still pisses me off. But again, I was happy to see him back. The NXT fans are chanting "Welcome back." It just looked natural, and I just whenever their contracts expire in NXT, or not NXT, but TNA, WWE just needs to bring them back. Who gives a fuck about the Hitler mustache thing? Nobody cares. That was a long time ago. And I don't know, was it MJF? MJF roomed with Nash Carter and said he's not a fucking anti-Semite. Like, what the fuck? He's not racist at all. It's like, shut up. So I mean, again, they've hired people for doing a lot worse. So for a Hitler mustache thing, like, come on, guys, grow up. So just bring back Nash Carter, bring in Trey Miguel, form your own Rascals or whatever team in NXT. Just bring them back because I liked MSK. I thought MSK could have been on their way to become maybe like the next Hardy Boys, but then Kimberly got in the way. So fuck her. But this is a fun match. Gallus doing their job, putting over MSK as they should. During the match, Joe Hendry comes out to kind of be special guest, announcer. Booker T hating on Joe Hendry like heavily, saying, "Why is he here? Why is he here?" Just pointing him like, "Get out of here! I don't want him here." Joe Hendry pretty much just saying, "I like it here in NXT. I'm gonna stay here for as long as I can." But the Rascals getting the win. Thoughts on the Rascals in NXT?
Fantastic stuff. They're going to be actually breaking tonight. The Rascal is going to be face off against North Quarter Catch Crew at Summerversary this weekend on Saturday. So,
Ooh.
it seems like the partnership is starting to strengthen a little bit. Because now you're getting Wesley back in TNA along with the No Quarter Catch Crew. So that's gonna be pretty cool to see. But yeah, this match needed what it needed to do. It looks like they did miss a beat with each other. So love it.
Kind of like you said last week with this NXT TNA partnership that you'd like to see more stars from NXT on TNA. It looks like you're getting your wish, man. Or it looks like we're getting our wish.
Yeah. Then also on top of that as well, I did see what Moose said, that the partnership between TNA and WWE is better than what it was with TNA and AEW. Yes, obviously, right. And I also see that the relationships with all these other promotions, Noah, Marigold, TNA, everyone's attendance has been up as well as a result. The only thing I question, because I have to tell the truth, and you know what I mean? Otherwise, I don't want to gloss over because it is the truth. The AEW comparison to TNA as far as attendance is concerned, it is not fair. It's just you can't make that comparison. It's not fair whatsoever. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Okay.
All right.
I mean,
At the end of the day,
do you know why I'm saying that?
attendance
Yeah.
in some ways, yeah, but just explain. You'll explain better than me. So what do you mean?
Well, it was the pandemic.
Yeah. So you're saying, yeah?
Like,
Wrestling. I mean, I know the pandemic messed up more important things than just
well, they
wrestling,
had
but
no
like,
fans.
yeah, like TNA didn't have any fans. AEW, for the most part, I later on in the year started letting more people in.
I just didn't like that narrative. Like, oh, whoa, WWE has brought TNA, better attendance than what AEW did. Well, there was no fans. Like, come on. Like, if we're going to, talk about these type of things, at least bring out the facts with it. You know what I mean? Just don't create your own narrative about it and not make it fair. But yeah,
Hey,
that's my
can
thing.
you give me 1 second? My dog's barking at something.
Oh yeah,
Go talk with the people.
sure.
What are you barking at?
I don't even know who's here in the chat. Who's here? Well, if anybody in the chat wants to speak, say something, ask a question, go for it. How's everyone doing tonight? All right. Well, looks like who we got in the chat here? Kyle and Maurice. All right. All right, Maurice, that's what's up for sure.
All right, I'm back.
Yep.
Yeah, the wife just came back from grocery shopping.
Nope, no worries.
Yeah, yeah, I'll agree with you. It's an unfair comparison when talking about that relationship, but you know, again, just the pandemic. I know it's apples and oranges when talking about the real things that the pandemic affected, but we're just kind of sticking to the wrestling business. WWE, um, it's a never-ending story. But yeah, just currently, WWE, with other companies other than TNA seems to be doing well. So we'll see how that works out. Let me ask you something, because I know, I think Swerve brought this up in an interview a while ago. Do you foresee a possible business relationship with WWE and AEW?
Yeah, I mentioned that. That was one of my predictions. Remember our predictions at the beginning of this year. I mean, it's not going to happen this year, but it can happen. Yeah, for sure. Is it going to happen anytime soon? I don't think so. But yeah, anything can happen in pro wrestling. Anything can happen in pro wrestling. Anything. I won't put it past that there could be a possible relationship. Not in the near future, but in the future.
I wouldn't mind saying it. It's probably going to take a while until it happens. All right, next on NXT, you got Thea Hale stepping out to Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez pretty much just saying, I deserve my respect. Regardless of who I beat, everybody gets their flowers. Lola got her flowers. Everyone's talking about Stephanie Vaquer. When she comes to NXT, she's going to, beat my ass. When Julia comes here, she's going to beat my ass. So I deserve my respect. And
Yep.
then, bunch of clowns on Thea Hale saying that, I got to work with her. Like, what the fuck? And Thea Hale comes out and just kind of puts her over, says, I used to think you as a role model. And, you know, I don't appreciate you saying what you're saying at me. And, Roxanne kind of puts her down, and then they get into a little whatchamacallit. They get into a little fight, which gets broken up. But yeah, Thea Hale and Roxanne happening at the Bash, Great American Bash, which I don't know which night. It's gonna be 2 nights, which I thought it was gonna be 1 night. I don't know. I was kind of thinking it'd be 1 night, but that's just me. But I like this matchup. I think both women match up well. I think they're kind of the same height. I think Thea might be a little taller, but they look like they're kind of the same height. Should be a good match. I like Thea. I think Thea. It's weird because I haven't seen her wrestle a lot lately. She's been more of a character, and the character is working because she has a lot of personality. She's very spunky. But when she does wrestle, she's capable of having a really good wrestling match, and I think she's gonna have maybe the best match she's ever had with Roxanne, who we love Roxanne. That's our girl. That's our local girl over here in Texas. So, um, thoughts on that promo and thoughts on the eventual matchup with these two.
I think its promo was good. This is just going to be a transition feud into either Stephanie Vaquer or Julia gets in. And at this point, I think it possibly may be Stephanie Vaquer first before to possibly go up against Roxanne. So yeah, but I'm
Makes
happy
sense.
that Thea gets the opportunity.
Stephanie Vaquer actually made her WWE debut over the weekend at Mexico.
Yep,
WWE
two matches against Isla Dawn.
Isla Dawn, and she looked pretty good out there. They were like pretty quick, like 5-6 minute matches. But they were pretty
Did you
good.
watch the fan footage?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, decent matches. She looked great out there. It was the point to make her look like $1 million. And then there was like then I think before the match there was a video of her meeting Damian Priest, where Damian, pretty much says welcome. So I thought
Yep.
that was a cool. So they obviously have a future with this girl. I mean, they're thinking of a future with this girl, as they should.
Yep.
She has a good look. I'll be honest, haven't seen too many of her matches. I need to start studying up on her, but she has an interesting look to her.
Her versus
There,
Julia. You can find the match on YouTube. Her versus Julia. That will get you ready for both women. You can watch. You get kill two birds with one stone in that match. Stephanie Becker, she is more of a. I think her as Daniel Bryan, but she could do a tiny bit of high flying. So she's very technical. She's very technical in the ring. I don't really love her finisher. It's a package. Is a package backbreaker. It's not really great impactful. I think if she does a submission, I think she can do that. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Another female prospect. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her. Is they're thinking about bringing in another female wrestler overseas, Delta.
Yeah,
Who's
from Australia. Yep.
another Australian mommy.
Yeah,
Who
she's
I
really good. She has a great look. Haven't really seen a lot of her matches. I have seen highlights, and from what I've seen within the highlights, it looks like she can make some noise in NXT.
Me and RJ were talking about it on our show, where I saw her and I'm like, she kind of looks like Luna a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah, shades. Yeah, shades of that. Yeah.
Oh, WWE just, man, they're really trying to make this women's roster deep. Like, this is the NXT women's roster. It's filled with future talent, and then you're bringing in already established talent.
Yep.
So obviously Julia, and Stephanie, and I'm assuming if they ever do bring in Delta, they're not going to be able to work those kind of matches, especially with the NIL women. But they're really going to show them how to work. They're going to show them what to do and what not to do. So the NXT women's division, that's the future of women's wrestling, in my opinion. Next is Javon Evans versus Brooks Jensen in I guess a grudge match from the week prior when Jensen took out Evans, from the main event tag match from the week prior. It was a nice match. Evans, of course, continues to impress week by week. Brooks Jensen, with this storyline of like, I have a lot to prove, but I'm going about it in the wrong way. Josh Briggs telling him, dude, I vouch for you. I got to keep my eye on you. So just don't fuck up in this match.
Right.
During the match, he had Sean Spears come out for some reason. And then not Josh Briggs, Sean Spears. There you go. Sean Spears comes out for some reason. Then Josh Briggs gets in his face and I guess tells him to leave, and he leaves. So I was like, okay. Evans gets the win, of course. And then Josh kind of follows Brooks in the back, or Briggs follows Jensen in the back to kind of keep his eye on him. After which, after the show, or I guess later in the show, Briggs, or was it Briggs? No, Jensen challenged Briggs to a match next week. So we have that to look forward to.
Yep.
Then you had NXT champion, All Ego Ethan Page versus Dante Chen. Earlier in the night, Ethan Page was confronting Ora Mensa. Mensa says, I want a title match. Page pretty much tells him no, but I'm a fighting champion, so I'll put my title on against Dante Chen, which the crowd seemed to be pretty hyped about that. This is a good match. Dante Chen obviously has talent. They were doing something interesting with him and what the fuck's his name, Lexus King, for a little bit, and then Lexus King got his win, and Dante Chen kind of went away for a little bit. Then he came back and challenged Ethan Page, and I guess this open challenge match, or Page kind of put the challenge out there, but this is good back and forth action. Chen looked like something out there, but in the end, Page got the win, held on to his NXT title, and I'm assuming we're getting Ethan Page and Oro Menso at Great American Bash, if I had to guess.
It's a possibility. Yeah.
So All right. Any thoughts on that match or the past few matches?
No, not at all. I thought NXT was a a fun show.
Trick Williams in the back, FaceTiming Ilya, just asking for advice on how to get his NXT title back.
Yeah.
And Pete Dunne, for whatever reason, is in the back, just staring daggers into Trick. And Trick goes up to Pete and asks him for advice, and Pete says, "I don't have time for this," and just walks away, which I thought was kind of funny. Just
Yeah.
Pete Dunne not having time for your problems, or anyone's problems for that matter. Izzy Dane versus Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley got the win, so I'm happy because I like Tatum Paxley. Then there was a bit with what's her name, Kalani Jordan, talking to Tatum Paxley, pretty much just saying, you're a little bit too old to play with dolls. And then Tatum puts her doll down and picks up a light skinned black Barbie, which that was random.
Yeah.
So I guess she wants to go after the NXT Women's title or NXT North American Women's title. I'm sorry. Izzy Dame dating Braun Breaker, so now they're a couple. So interesting couple.
Okay.
And then Cedric Alexander and Ashante the Adonis are now in NXT, so good for them. Bren Sinclair, local girl, getting some TV time. I guess wanting to join No Quarter Catch Crew. It's a tongue twister. So good to see a local girl get some TV time, especially one of ours. Lola Vice versus JC Jane. After JC Jane made a challenge to Lola. At this point, JC Jane is pretty much wrestler agent out there to make everybody else look good, which is fine. Kind of wish there was more for her to do, but she put over Lola Vice in this match, which made sense. It wasn't the best match, but it was a match. And then they ganged up on Lola. Afterwards, you had Carmen Petrovich and Sol Ruka come out to make the save. So I'm assuming this is a 6-woman tag we're getting at the Great American Bash, which kind of goes that way. Yeah, the OC versus OTM from a rematch from last week. Luchin, I think, is really talented. I know you said I think you said Bronco was kind of your favorite out of the team, but
yeah. They're both really well. They're both really, really good. I just think Bronco Nima has a higher upside.
Right. I like both guys. I like Luchin better. I think Luchin, what he he picked up? It was either Gallows or Anderson where he picked him up with that Bobby Lashley choke slam, power slam thing.
Yep.
That looked impressive. I was a little. I guess I couldn't. I guess I shouldn't say shocked because the OC still need to get their heat back, and OTM are the heels. But the OC got the win.
Yep.
OTM looking more impressive week by week. I know Jada looks like the bigger star, and she probably is the bigger star. But I mean, Bronco and Luchin, I mean, they're not something to snuff at. They have a future. And then you had the main event, which was Obafemi versus Duke Hudson. Holy shit. Fantastic match. Fantastic main event. Duke Hudson. I like Duke Hudson. I think he's a guy that gets slept on. He has shown massive, well, maybe not massive improvement, but he's shown a lot of improvement in the last 3 years he's been in NXT. When he came here, when it was 2.0, when he was the poker player, and now he's a part of Chase U, and he's really shown that the dude can work. He's doing things for what a 6'5" guy like you wouldn't expect him to do. I mean, he's not doing Dijak level of high high spots or whatever, but he's still going out there and working, and he got a lot of offense in, and a lot of it was Oba selling and making him look like $1 million. And Oba didn't get as gassed in this match as he did with the Wesley match, because I think these two matched up well, and they kind of won at each other's own speed.
Oh, it was shorter too.
Yeah, and then with Oba trying to work with a smaller guy, I think that was kind of the problem. So
right,
Oba I think has better matches with guys that are either bigger than him, his size, or at least like somewhat bigger. But this is a great match. This is the best match I've seen Duke have. Obviously Oba got the win. Let me ask you something. What do you think about Oba's finish? Do you think he needs to change it?
No.
Okay.
Why? Why would you want to change it?
I'm asking because Jeff Lippman, who's a resident happy lawyer, not a mad lawyer, had said that Oba needs to do a better job at, I guess, I forgot how he said it, but just like he needs to do a better job at constructing that finish because it looks like he doesn't know how to handle it as well. But no, I like the finish. I'm not saying I don't like the
Well,
finish.
I don't know about that, but okay, yeah. Everyone's entitled to their opinion for sure.
But again, I might be getting Jeff's words wrong. I'm going to be getting a very angry tweet from him about it. But yeah, I like Oba's finish. I like Oba. I shouldn't be surprised when I found out that he doesn't actually speak with a Nigerian accent. I heard him in an interview, and he just kind of spoke with a regular American accent. But it's wrestling; it's kayfabe. So what can we do? But yeah, Oba got the win. Great showing for Duke, and that was NXT. What'd you think about NXT, the main event, everything else?
Very good. Very good. I really like NXT, as you know. I'm gonna play you something here that's probably gonna shock you. It's not
Go
gonna
for it.
shock me because I dabble and I listen to everybody. And so I'm pretty what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not shocked by this, but I'm gonna play you something and I want you to guess who this is. So let's listen to this real quick. Let me turn this up. Oh, hold on.
Can't hear it.
So that's Brian Alvarez basically praising NXT, saying that they have the best character development, which I agree with because like Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, like there are some holes in character development, and at least in NXT, it's not perfect by any means, but you get to know every character and where they start and where they're going, where they're moving to. So again with for example, Roxy, she started off as the happy-go-lucky baby face, hey, I'm happy to be here type of thing. And now she's like this vicious, woman here who will do anything to keep her title because she felt that she wasn't getting the respect that she deserved in the first place when she first came in, as I'm the happy go lucky to be here, babyface. So that's why I love NXT, and I don't agree with Brian Alvarez all the time, but he was spot on that one.
I mean, I think Brian Alvarez at this point is just like, we can't keep defending AEW. Like, we know it's.
It has nothing to do with AEW.
Well, no. I know what you mean, but like for a while, Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer were just doing everything they could to defend it. Now they have to realize,
Yeah, no,
what
it has nothing to do with
no,
AEW. Has nothing
no,
to do with AEW. Yeah,
I know, but to hear someone like Brian Alvarez go, yeah, NXT is more than likely the better wrestling show. It's better at character development. And
well, he said it's better character development. He didn't say it was a better show. He didn't say it was a
it,
better show.
I don't know. I think NXT, yeah, better character development because you kind of get a good grasp on who everyone is, and it's a show you can't miss. Like you
Yeah,
can't miss it.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because
I agree with that. Yeah,
if you go into NXT blind, you're not going to know what the fuck's going on. Like
exactly.
Raw and SmackDown, as good as they are, you can maybe miss a week of Raw and still know
Awesome.
what's going on. With NXT, you need to really stay in tune with what is going on with everybody.
Absolutely.
So like Chase U, like Obafemi, like Lexus King, like Trick Williams, like Ethan Page, the rest of the women's division. You need
Yep.
to know what's going on with everybody because, I see Ren Sinclair and I'm like, hey, it's Ren. Where's she been?
Right.
She had a match a few weeks ago and what happened? Now she's back. Now she's getting TV time because you know she saw somebody get put in a trunk. She's a witness. So um yeah, that was NXT, people. Good show as usual. AEW Dynamite on Wednesday happened like it usually happens. The first hour, or I guess hour-ish, of the show was MJF versus Will Ospreay
Mhm.
for the international title. Um, I watched it just so I can know what happened. I mean, obviously I saw MJF won, but I wanted to see the match. Um, Not my speed as far as a wrestling match goes, but I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it was fun. It was a fun match to watch. Not really a huge Osprey fan. I like MJF. I think MJF back as a heel works better. When he was doing the happy-go-lucky, I'm everyone's scumbag, babyface, it worked for maybe like a few weeks, and then after a while, it's like, okay, MJF needs to be a heel again. That's just how I feel. But this is a good match. In the end, MJF wins by using the Dynamite Diamond Ring to get the international title, which makes sense. After which MJF he had like a what do you call it?
Oxygen mask.
Oxygen tank to be carried off.
Yeah.
Which good for his character. But how'd you feel about the match?
Some people are saying this is the best Dynamite match of all time. No? Well, what would you think would be the best Dynamite match of all time?
You're gonna be shocked. I'm gonna say it's Danielson versus Omega.
That happened on Rampage, no? That happened on
No,
Rampage.
wasn't that in what do you call it? In that Long Island New York match?
I think it was Rampage, I want to say. It may have been Dynamite, but if that happened on Dynamite, okay, yeah, that's like whatever. You know what I mean? I'll say this. I think it's a top 5 Dynamite match of all time. If it's rated 5 stars, I'm not gonna be mad at it. But this was an incredible match. It was an incredible match. Sorry, go ahead.
It was Dynamite. It was at AEW Dynamite Grand Slam.
Okay, fair. Okay, so yeah. Regardless, though, I think to me this is a top 5 Dynamite match of all time. It's maybe top 3 for me, possibly. I don't think it's number 1 though. But if you rate it 5 stars, fantastic. Just the sheer high work rate alone, and that it's their first match against each other, really made this match, and also the story that was told in the ring between the two as well. So this is a fantastic match. This what made Dynamite this week. Obviously, was this match alone. Will Ospreay is incredible. No matter how you feel about him, like one thing you can say, he's pretty damn good what he does in the ring. MJF is incredible. You know what I mean? Like MJF is so good at what he does on talking on the mic and in the ring. It's like, fuck, man. Like, I wish he was in WWE, but at the same time as well, I don't think we'll see like this high of a work rate from MJF in WWE. So I'm just glad that we have him in AEW for now, at least until until his contract's up and he goes to WWE. But I thought this match was incredible for what it was.
All right. What happened on the rest of Dynamite?
We could just skip. That's fine. Yeah, if you don't talk about if that's all you watch, I'm not gonna sit here and talk about it. But Dynamite, but I will say this: Dynamite, it did fall off a cliff afterwards. I will say that. Not for any like, oh, the show sucked 100%, but how can you follow that? You know what I mean? It's like, how can you follow that? But did you see the Tony Schiavone thing? That was fucking hilarious. I really think that sounded like a shoot though. Like maybe he forgot to press mute on it because like his real accent came out. But that was hilarious. Like He's like, come on, bitch. Like, oh my god, like,
Come on, bitch, talk.
oh man, that was hilarious. I will say that's meme worthy right there. But outside of that, Dynamite, it didn't suck through the rest of the way, but it definitely wasn't as good as that first hour.
I can imagine. All right, so that was Dynamite, people. Now we're gonna get to news. So good news for Kevin Owens' mom. On social media, he said that she is kicked out. So early in the month, Kevin Owens shared some personal news on SmackDown and mentioned how his mom had a health scare. He put up a picture of his mother and added the caption, "She kicked out." So here we go. Where's the rest of the news? Okay, it's just pretty much telling me everything that I already know. He said, "I really don't take anything for granted. I've." Oh wait, no, he's talking about his contract. Okay, never mind. I guess that was literally just the quote. Is a picture of his mom on Twitter and Instagram saying she kicked out. So, Mom Owens doing well. She fought like hell, as he said. So that's good news. So
That's fantastic news. That's the most important news of this show. Nothing will be more important than that. Period. Like, can't anything else we talk about for the rest of the night is not going to be as important as that. So I'm very happy for Kevin Owens. I'm glad to see his mother is doing much better.
Let me get to ratings real quick, and we'll get back to news. All right. So last Friday on SmackDown, on July 12th, drew a 2.355 and a 0.70 in the demo. The week prior was a 2.256 and a 0.66 in the demo, so had a ratings increase and also a demo increase. Rampage drew a 339 and a 0.12 in the demo. The week prior, where did I go? The week prior, there were a 309 and a 0.10 in the demo, so they had a slight increase.
Good.
Where the hell did I go? All right, AEW Collision, 362.14 in the demo. The week prior, they were a 306 and a 0.8 in the demo, so they had a slight increase, so good for them.
Very interesting that happened too.
What do you mean?
Very interesting. Oh, so what happened on Saturday?
So what happened on Saturday?
What happened on? You're kidding, right?
AEW Collision?
No, Trump almost fucking got his head blown off.
Oh yeah, that happened.
What do you mean that happened? It's like a world event, bro. Yeah, like I would like to.
Well, I forgot that happened on Saturday.
Oh, okay, I got you. But I was thinking, I was like, oh no, like this happens, and Tony Khan has to compete against CNN and like all these other news outlets. It seemed like it didn't affect it, so good for AEW in that situation. I mean, good for AEW, but I'm not saying that like sarcastic. But I'm just saying like I would have suspected to not be good, but they did okay. They did well. They were up,
Hey, well, Hulk Hogan was at the Republican National Convention tonight. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I did see that, man, brother.
Comes out dressed like a fit.
Somehow he made the speech about him.
Let me tell you something, brother. These Hulkamaniacs.
He did all that. Oh my god. Oh, he was working him, brother. Oh man. I don't like. I'll put it to you this way. I honestly don't agree with Trump and his politics and all that stuff. And in all seriousness, just to touch on what happened on Saturday, shouldn't have to come to that. There was actually people on social media celebrating that, or not celebrating. They were going to celebrate if the bullet hit. Like really, like I get it, but at the same time, no, that's not the way to. No. I'm not a Trump guy. I'm very, 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 very far being a Trump guy, but celebrating someone's death,
right,
a little bit too much. You know what I mean? So, but regardless of that, though, Hogan tonight was fucking fantastic. He's racist as shit, But he cut a fucking Hogan promo, and I popped for it because I'm a dumbass. So
I couldn't do anything more, brother. I couldn't stand back and watch my hero get hurt, brother.
He ripped the shirt. Oh man, like he made it about him. Hogan somehow made it about Hogan in 2024. He doesn't put nobody over. Unbelievable.
I don't know if you saw that, and we'll get back to the wrestling, but like there was a whole thing with Tenacious D, where Jack Black had to cancel the tour because the other guy in Tenacious D, like he made a comment at they're doing a concert in Australia, and it was the other guy's birthday where he said, my birthday wishes, I wish the shooter didn't miss.
Yeah.
So Jack Black just literally canceled the whole tour. It might be the end of Tenacious D.
That's terrible. Yeah, he shouldn't have said. Like, the fuck?
Yes.
Shouldn't have said.
I'm not a political guy. I'm not even a Trump guy, but it's like, that's a stupid thing to say.
It's retarded. Like, come on. Stupid.
So,
but anyway.
I don't fucking know. But anyways, let's get back to wrestling. Where are we at? Collision. Okay, yeah. Monday Night Raw on this past Monday drew a 1.669 and a 0.56 in the demo. The previous week it drew a 1.75 and a 0.59 in the demo, so they went down. I believe Monday was the MLB All-Star game. Which
it was a home run derby, and I don't think that doesn't matter. They still should have been. They still should have done something with what. Not to say it was a bad show, but like it's the fucking MLB home run derby. No one gives a fuck about that shit.
I mean, a lot of the attention was about that girl singing the national anthem.
Yeah, but that's more of social media response rather than people actually watching the show.
Which come to find out, she was actually drunk.
Yeah, she's going to rehab. Good for her. I mean, good for her to admit that. You know.
So, I don't know. She definitely replaces Fergie as the worst rendition. Let's see.
Was Fergie drunk though?
Nah, Fergie was just Fergie was trying to sing like a lounge act version of the national anthem, which
no. I still give it to Fergie because like if Fergie was sober and did that and the other chick was drunk, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna give the chick that was drunk a pass. I mean, it was still terrible. Not say it wasn't bad. It was god awful, but like one was drunk, one wasn't. How does these things? Imagine if Fergie was drunk, how much more bad it would have been, you know?
Right. NXT last night drew a 610 and a 0.20 in the demo. They fell from last week. They had a 656 and a 0.24 in the demo. And AEW Dynamite actually had an uptick in the demos and ratings this week. 795 and 0.27 in the demo. The week prior, they were a 691 and a 0.23. So,
oh wow,
I imagine that uptick had to do with the first hour.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, people were really gunning on that match. They wanted to see that match. That shows you right there when you get two great talents in the ring, you get a professional wrestling match like that, people will watch. So, very good on AEW. AEW in the last 3 weeks has been putting on good TV. So, I can't complain. They're doing the right things going towards All In. And remember this time last year where were they at for All In? They didn't announce their first match until like 3 weeks or 2 weeks before the show. Now you got pretty much half the card already set. So this is night and day between this year and last year for AEW. So I want to see the continued momentum with them. I'm liking what I'm seeing from the last 3 weeks from them.
All right. Joe Hendry says that he still has a little while left on his TNA deal. Why is there not a fucking quote? Okay, here we go. He was on Talk is Jericho. He appeared as a guest on the show this week where he said he's got a little while left on his TNA deal. No other details are given. WWE, not just WWE, but TKO, they really do love them some Joe Hendry. They put there was like an Instagram post where he put up and I forgot what he said, but like the TKO Instagram page actually commented and just put like a pair of eyes, like, ooh. So they love Joe Hendry. People love Joe Hendry. People believe in Joe Hendry. Do you see? This almost seems like a duh answer, but like, do you see WWE really going after him as soon as his contract expires?
He's already signed without us knowing.
Him, Jordan Grace, like they already have a parking space.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I don't know. I like Joe Hendry.
Deservedly so, by the way. Yeah.
Just everything. Like he's getting over. He said on NXT talking to Gallus, like, I like it here in NXT. I think I'm going to stay here.
Yep.
So, we had that conversation about Joe Hendry last week, which I actually put up that conversation on YouTube. If you guys want to check it out, it's gotten some views, so I'm happy about that.
Oh, how many we're looking at right now?
So far maybe I think like 10, 11 views. So in the last week, but
I mean, yeah, we gotta do better than that. But
yeah,
I thought you meant like oh, it has like 500 views. I thought, but yeah, no, I'm just giving you shit.
Yeah. But yeah, check it out, people. I'll be putting up more videos like that, more reels, more shorts about conversations we've had. But yeah, Joe Hendry, he's crossed over in this company. He's crossed the line, and he's gotten over in another company. He's over in two companies.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah,
he's in the main event for Summerversary too for the TNA title. It's going to be a what is it? A six-way elimination match. So possibly may have an opportunity to win on Saturday, and also on top of that as well, he did mention I don't know if you saw today. It was a couple hours ago, so he may have missed it. But he says, "Oh, as soon as I win, I'm gonna call out John Cena." So
why not? That'd be pretty cool. I know he has a history. I mean, not a history of John Cena, but John Cena apparently called him when he was like a kid.
Yep.
So cool. Speaking of NXT and Raw will be filming or not filming, but they will have episodes airing on Sci-Fi during the Olympics. Raw and NXT will be moved to Sci-Fi during the Olympics. It will be 4 shows. Raw July the 29th, NXT the July the 30th, and then August the 8th, or not, August 6th and August 7th. So I think I remember seeing something about that. I forget if it was either Raw or NXT, but now it's confirmed. WWE Star has signed a new deal. This is kind of old news. Natalya has signed a new deal with WWE. It's said to be a multi-year deal.
Yep.
So she's not going anywhere anytime soon, which makes sense. She seems like a lifer.
I don't know why people thought that she was gonna end up leaving.
No.
It just didn't make any sense.
No, she's gonna be here until I hate to sound gruesome. She's gonna be here until the day she dies. Like, this is her home. Another news article. Clarification on WWE talent keeping their names. There was an original article that came out where it said that here's where Brian Alvarez said, our good friend Brian Alvarez. I was told that these new TKO deals are such that when you go to WWE, they're going to trademark everything. For example, Ethan Page went and they trademark Ethan Page. This is for someone in the company. When you leave, they try to hand everything over to you now. Alvarez continued, apparently when you leave WWE, and it's kind of the same thing I think with AEW, it's like Vakir can leave and take her name. Ethan Page can leave and take his name. While you're here, they own the rights to everything for pro wrestling. But that is a very big change from back in the day when they owned you into, I don't know how to say this word, perpetuity?
Perpetuity or something.
Yeah. She very much wanted to keep her name, and apparently they're allowing her to keep the name in WWE. They're going to trademark it while she's there. And there was a update from Fightful, but it's a Patreon link, so can't keep that. But thoughts on that? WWE allowing talent to keep their names even when they leave?
I'm indifferent about it. Good for them. That's all I gotta say. Good for them.
Indifferent how?
This doesn't really change anything.
All right, so Mish is saying that was debunked. Alvarez lied. Okay, well, I
Well,
guess it's not true.
I mean, is it debunked? Is it or is it not debunked?
Well, I mean, I guess when they leave, but like you've noticed, like
They
Jacob
don't
Fatu,
carry it away, but I just want
right?
to make sure that we get the information right.
Well, like Jacob Fatu when he came in, there. I guess there was a rumor that apparently they were going to call him something else. I think they were calling him like Caesar Sokoa or something like that, but they just
Yeah,
went with Jacob Fatu.
yeah,
Yeah, lately they've been allowing a lot of their wrestlers or a lot of wrestlers coming in to use their names, which is better. Um, I think it depends on the name. Like it's like with LA Knight, for example, he was Eli Drake. LA Knight, I think, works better because it still goes with Eli Drake, LA Knight.
yeah,
Um, but for other people, Jacob Fatu works better because I think more people know him as Jacob Fatu.
yeah.
Stephanie Vaquer, she's fairly new, so I guess keep her name. I don't know, like kind of like with you. I feel indifferent. Um, I think if it is true, cool. If it's not, then oh well. Yeah. All right. Next Friday, WWE will be on their Japan tour, so SmackDown will be taped. So there's that. And other than that, I don't really have any other news.
Well, yeah.
You,
Speaking of Japan tour, I think Julia is gonna either have her first. I think she may have her first match in WWE on that tour, and come back
ooh,
to the States. Um, after that tour is over, but as far as news with me, everything for me is WWE ish related. First and foremost, Damon Kipp's departure was a contract expiration and a decision not to renew, according to sources with the knowledge of this situation. So that was back from last week, but we didn't get to talk about it. So Pro Wrestling Noah, right? You're familiar with New Japan and their G1, or you've at least heard of it, right?
yeah. Hmm.
Right. So, basically, Pro Wrestling Noah, they have their version of the G1 called the N1 Victory Lap. Victory, not the Victory Lap, but N1 Victory, not Victory Lap. And two NXT names is going to be in this round robin tournament. One is Tavion Heights, and the other is fuck. I just lost train of thought on the name. Fuck. Josh Briggs. Josh Briggs. So they're gonna be in Japan getting some reps over there, and they're gonna be facing against some CMLL talent too as well. It's very diverse over there, but yeah. So very good stuff. Any thoughts about that for moving on?
I'm happy with it. I mean, I'm cool with it. Get these guys in NXT, get these guys and girls in NXT some reps. Because the WWE style of things works, but whenever you leave to go to other companies, you're going to need to know how everybody else does things. So I think this is good for them. This also gives them good world experience.
Absolutely.
In my opinion.
100%. All right, moving on here. So Drew, last time you played Call of Duty.
Let's say I play Call of Duty. Yeah, sure.
What?
Wait, I'm confused about the question.
I
You
said,
said
when is the last time you played Call of Duty?
like 6-7 years ago.
Okay. Well, anyway, well, if you happen to get Modern Warfare 3, Season 5 is going to be coming out, and there's going to be WWE wrestlers in there. Cody Rhodes, Rhea Ripley, and Rey Mysterio, and they also are going to have some of their finishers in there. So, Cody's going to be able to do, the Crossroads. There's going to be, the Orton Punt Kick, and you get to do, the Rey Mysterio Bulldog and stuff. So, that's going to be pretty cool. But, yeah, it's going to be pretty good to get more exposure to WWE and the pro wrestling business, showing that it is mainstream again. So very cool. I have not gotten Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I'm not gonna get it. I didn't play Modern Warfare 2 either. But I am gonna get Black Ops 6. I am gonna try Black Ops 6. So that's gonna be pretty cool. But any quick thoughts about that for moving on?
I think it's cool. I'll leave it at that.
All right, absolutely. Speaking, we were talking about Japan, right? And we're talking about WWE going overseas for the Japan tour later this month in Tokyo and Osaka. Well, there's somebody that's going to be going on tour where, wow, where was this person at? WWE is advertising Miko Satomura, Bianca Belair, and Jade Cargill versus Damage Control of Io, Dakota Kai, and Kyrie with Asuka for the WWE live event Super Shows in Osaka and Tokyo later this month. So I'm good with that. Get Mako in there. It seems like WWE still wants to use Mako in some fashion. Maybe we may see some sights and sounds, and maybe some NXT Japan. Possibly. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but yeah. Any quick thoughts about that?
Okay with me.
All right. And two more things here. And the second thing is probably going to go into a longer conversation. But the first thing here is that we got the Creed brothers for Bloodsport, which is going to be not this Sunday come up, but next Sunday. We got one more WWE superstar, or NXT superstar in this case. Charlie Dempsey comes back to Bloodsport. Doesn't say who he's going to be facing, right? But Dempsey's going to be all over the place. He's going to be in TNA, Bloodsport. He was in Japan earlier this year. They're really trying to make him like a fucking, a world beater, pretty much, going all around the world and, competing in these, all these different types of styles and matches and whatnot. But yeah, Charlie Dempsey going back to Bloodsport. Are you gonna be checking out any Bloodsport next Sunday if you can get a hold of it?
Where can I catch it?
Triller TV, I believe. I believe it's Triller TV and Rowlett. I believe.
I mean, hey, if I can find a link, that'd be dope. So I definitely want to watch. I've always wanted to watch the Bloodsport pay-per-views. They seem interesting, so I'll give it a watch when I.
They're fun to watch. Very different shows, but they're fun to watch. All right, and this is gonna lead into a longer conversation. I think maybe not, but did you happen to see any? Okay, I know you didn't watch the matches. I'm just gonna say that, but did you happen to see any highlights of Io's return to Japan in Marigo or AJ Styles match in Japan from this past weekend?
I saw clips. I did not actually get to see the matches like in full, but I did see clips. Yeah.
Okay. That's why I figured. I figured you at least saw clips. So Io Sky versus Utami Hayashishita at Marigold's Destiny as of I guess as of this weekend was the highest rated women's match in history on Cage Match. but I'm bringing that up because the match was really fucking good. Is it a 5-star? It's a fringe 5-star for me. It's really fucking good. Possibly women's match of the year. If you watch it in full, is really fucking good. Julia went up against Sarai, the former Sarai, at Marigo as well. Another great match, very hard hitting. I don't think it was as good as the Tommy match with Io, but Io in this match was fucking night and day different from what she does in WWE. Still Io, still what she does in WWE, but it was like more strong style, more stiff, more just believable. I'm not saying that Io's not believable, but it just is like, man, like, and it could be due to the quietness of the Japanese crowd, and you can hear everything that they're doing. It could be that, but I thought the match was very, very, very fucking good. And if y'all have time, it's all you can find it on YouTube to watch. I'm sorry, not on YouTube. You can find it on Twitter because there's channels out there or accounts out there that's posting it. You can watch it right now for free on Twitter. You can, I'm sure you can find it. So that was a great match. The Julia and Sari match was very good as well. And the AJ Styles and Marufuji match was fucking great as well. I think fucking Meltzer's gonna give AJ another 5-star match because it was really good as well. I think that match they had with Marufuji was a better wrestling match than the ones they had with Cody, but the ones with Cody had better heat, obviously because of story. So, but yeah, I encourage you guys to check out some WWE talents. Venture in Japan. It was Io's first match in Japan in, I want to say, 6 years, and it was AJ's first match in Japan in 5 years. So very very interesting dynamic there. But I thought all three of those matches I mentioned, I thought they were all fucking great. So check them out if y'all have time.
All right, I thought you had a question.
Who had a question
I thought you had a question.
about what?
Oh, I guess after the matches, but
Oh well, I
uh,
mean, I know you didn't see it or anything like that, but I mean, if you have any comment about it, go for it.
I'll watch them. I'm not opposed to watching Japan matches. I've seen matches in New Japan, other feds, so I'll give them a watch. If you say they're good, I'll watch them.
Yeah, very good,
Um,
very good matches for sure. I mean, like I said, they're on Twitter. If you just search like the title of the match, you'll find the matches on there, and people are like just illegally putting them up there. But
who are some talent that you would like to see over in Japan currently on WWE?
Gunther,
Ooh,
Gunther, um,
Ilya.
Ilya, guys like that, like strong style type guys. Sami Zayn. I think Kevin Owens will be good over there. I would like to see Damian Priest over there. I would like to see Bailey. I would like to see Roxy. I will love to see Bianca. What I mean? Like I want to see those types of matches over there. Even if it's just a one-off. I just want to see how the crowd takes to them, the different atmosphere, just everything possible. Um, yeah, I mean, I want to see DIY over there in the tag team role against some of the best tag teams over there too as well. Um, Axiom and Nathan Frazier, I think they can, find, two similar wrestlers to them over there and they can pull on some great matches. I want to see anything that makes sense and anything that puts on a good. I just want to see good wrestling. I don't give a fuck where it's from. It could be fucking, Gunther versus an alien from fucking Jupiter. I don't give a shit. If it entertains, if it's good wrestling, I'm gonna watch it, right? I don't oppose to, well, EO's in Japan, but I don't know if I want to watch it because I don't understand it. We all understand pro wrestling. We all understand the language of pro wrestling, right? It is different due to of different crowds, right? And different cultures, but this is how we learn about other pro wrestlers, and this is how we get exposed to other people, and we start to learn. I mean, we don't need to be experts on them, but let's say, for example, like Utami Yashashida, uh, you know, we're gonna be at least familiar with her. Like, oh, I remember that match that she had with Io. Okay, I'm familiar with her. I haven't seen her since then, but at least I know who she is, and I know what she's capable of. That's all I think that I think American fans are missing. Not all American fans, obviously, but a lot of American fans. I think a lot of American fans can benefit off learning off some of these wrestlers. And you know what that does? This is why it's important, because it will make you more familiar to them, and eventually what's going to end up happening is that they're not going to be as hard to get over when you bring them to NXT. when you bring them to the main route, they're not going to be as hard to get over because you are somewhat familiar with them. You don't know everything about them. You probably see maybe one match of theirs, but at least you know. At least you know what they're capable of, and I think that's is a great thing. I think Julia is going to be over just because of the name recognition alone and just the built up hype, right? Um, I think that's going to help her a ton. But if we see a match against Marufuji's fucking 45 years old. AJ Styles 50 years old, and he had a fucking tremendous match with them. He's like, I can't believe AJ Styles is almost 50, and it looks like he's fucking 32. But let's just say Marufuji comes over to WWE. It's not gonna happen because he's old. But let's say he comes over. At least if you took the time to watch him, you won't have to be like, oh man, who's this guy? You know what I mean? Oh, I don't really understand. At least you'll be a little bit more familiar with them, and I think that's important. And a lot of people be missing out on. So, but okay, I'm off the hill now.
No. I'm glad you said that because it needed to be said. Just I think this business deal with not just TNA but other feds overseas like Japan.
Or Mari Gold, yeah.
It's
Even
it's
CML,
helped.
I think they're gonna be working with CMLL too, actually. So,
Yeah,
or yeah,
yeah. It's
or
helping.
or
It's
I'm sorry,
helping
not
the stock.
CMLL. No, I'm sorry, not CMLL. AAA.
It's helping the stock value of a lot of these wrestlers that WWE eventually will want to bring in.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's great business if you think about it. It's great
Yeah.
business. What WWE needs to do as well, and I think they will do this eventually, but they did not mention anything of EO's match this weekend on Raw. They need to show that pictures, not full eyes, but show a couple pictures. Hey, Io Sky was over there in Japan on SmackDown. Hey, AJ Styles is over there in Japan having a match against Marufuji. This is known as one of the, this is probably one of the matches of the year. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt WWE if they do that, right? You know what I mean? I think it'll be very good for them to do that. Now, the only places that they're doing it for right now is TNA because that relationship is very strong right now. It's TNA NXT, right? And they do show, each other's highlights back and forth, which is cool. But again, I think it helps. It helps the other talents get over, right? The talents that's going over to these places, but it gets those other organizations over as well, just by doing a quick little 10-second spot.
Exactly. It's good. It's good for the wrestling business. Good for WWE. Good for those other companies too. So that's what we want. But that's the show, people. We are done for the night. We got everything we need to get out. Next week we'll be back at our regularly scheduled schedule, same time, same channel. Thank you to Justin for taking this time on a Thursday night to talk wrestling with me and to
Absolutely.
talk wrestling for everyone else here. People, or not just people, but Justin. Tell everyone about Spinebuster Tees.
I mean, you guys heard it, Spinebuster Tees, SpinebusterTees.com. You guys can go on there and find all the array of my t-shirts designed by yours truly to get shipped for you 10% off using the discount code on top of the page. That is that's SpinebusterTees.com. You can also find me Spinebuster Tees at Wonderlands of the Americas, which is at Crossroads Mall as well. Array of very different things that you can find there, from wrestling Funko Pops to wrestling action figures to T-shirts to wrestling pins to wrestling trading cards to wrestling magazines to wrestling lucha masks, socks, keychains, everything that you can find for not just for yourself but for a gift to somebody. You come in my shop, spend less than 10 hours, walk out with a few things. So that's the thing I love about my shop as well. I love bringing people together there in my shop. Talk Pro Wrestling. Actually, today I had a referee that who just moved here to San Antonio. He's trying to find work, and basically, long story short, he ref matches for the Briscoes, for Karrion Cross, for John Moxley, for a lot of other people, and he ref for GCW as well. So he moved here, can't get any work because people don't know who he is. So I got him set up with one of the local wrestling promoters here, and hopefully he gets an opportunity. So that's the thing. That's the kind of community that we have with Spinebuster Tees. It's not just about me trying to say you guys things. It's a community at the end of the day, and people that come in support mean the world to me. If you come in, if you come have a conversation with me, if you come spend $1 with me, that's why I love. Yeah, and that's what we do here in my shop. Also, Spinebuster Tees on Instagram. You can follow me with everything that I post online that I have at Spinebuster Tees at my physical location. So, but again, Spinebuster Tees and spinebustertees.com, and follow me on Spinebuster Tees on Instagram.
Yes, sir. And you guys know where to find me: Twitter, X, Instagram, Yari Experience. On Twitter, it's DY Experience. And Spreaker is our home base. Everywhere else that podcasts are distributed, like Spotify, iTunes, you can find us there. We have a YouTube channel, which lately I've been posting more shorts and videos of topics of conversation for the show.
Cool.
In the future, we've been talking about maybe even going live on YouTube. Whenever that happens, you guys will be the first to know. And yeah, shout out to everybody who does support the show. Thank you to everybody. And like I mentioned, we will see you again next week, same time, same channel. And what else can I say? But have a good weekend and peace out.
Peace.